Hi, this is Brad Linder with Liliputing, and I'm here with Dell taking a look at two of their new thin and light laptop computers. This is the 2015 version of the Dell XPS 13, and it's going to come in two different variants. The entry-level model sells for $799 and up, and it has a full HD 13-inch display that is a matte screen and an aluminum bezel, but it's an extraordinarily thin bezel you can see here. A model that is going to sell for $1299 and up is this version with the touchscreen display, and it has a QHD or WQHD 3200 by 1800 pixel display. It's hard to even conceive of figures that go that high. And this one actually has a glossy screen. It's a little bit hard to tell the difference here, but actually I think you can see, well, if I turn the flash on, you'd see that there's a little bit of glare on this model. If you use it, in the window or outside, you're not going to have nearly as much on this matte screen. So I think some people might actually see the entry-level model as a more attractive system because for $799 and up you get a 4 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage, a full HD screen, a matte display, and it costs hundreds of dollars less than the version that has the higher resolution touchscreen display. Both models are going to be available with Intel Core i3 and faster Broadwell processors, and I will not look at the password there. And all the way up to Core i7, they have solid-state storage, and really the most remarkable thing about these is a lot of companies have said in the past that they have 13-inch laptops that are the size of 11.6-inch laptops. Dell's one of the first companies to really do it, I think. These things really do feel much smaller than a full-size 13-inch laptop, and that's because these bezels are just so extraordinarily small. Now, some people have looked at this and said, well, where's the webcam? Dell didn't leave that out, they just sort of moved it. It's down here on the bottom where this bezel is, and what we have here is sort of a comparison between I assume that's a MacBook or a MacBook Air.
MacBook Air
13-inch display, and Dell's laptop. So you can see it is significantly smaller, but there's still room for a fairly nice, wide, smooth touchpad. We've got backlit keyboard, full-size keys. If we look at the ports, we've got multiple USB ports here, a headset jack, and on the other side, ports are pretty much the same on both models, right? Or,
yes, sir. Identical.
Yeah, another USB port over here, and is that an SD card slot? Okay. And if we take a look at the back, we've got
machine aluminum display back, machine aluminum bottom, and then a carbon fiber palm rest.
Okay. And in terms of upgrades, as we were just discussing a moment ago, this is going to come with 4 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage for the entry-level model. You can opt for more. If you want more RAM, you're going to need to get it right out of the box because when you order it, it's going to be bonded to the motherboard. The storage is technically user upgradable. It's not necessarily something that's recommended, but it's not attached to the motherboard. So you should be able to open up the case, upgrade it yourself. Whether or not that voids the warranty might remain to be seen. Same goes for the batteries. It's not something that Dell's going to recommend users do, but if you have one of these and it's out of the warranty period and the battery life isn't what it used to be because you've had it for a couple of years, you might be able to buy a battery pack and upgrade it yourself. In terms of battery life, another reason that I forgot to mention why some people might actually prefer the cheaper model is it actually gets longer battery life. We're going to see about 15 hours of runtime on this version as opposed to 12 hours of runtime on this one. Now, once you get to that level, the difference is kind of moot. The odds of you actually using it all up in one day, who knows? But in real-world performance, depending on what you're doing, you might get less runtime, and so you're going to get a little bit more from the version that has the lower resolution matte display as opposed to the touchscreen model. This version is also a little bit lighter, weighs about 2.6 pounds versus 2.7 pounds. Both of them are, what, around half an inch or more?
15 millimeters.
15 millimeters, which is, I think, 0.6 or 0.7 inches thick. Yeah, and so they're thin, they're light, they have extraordinarily slim bezels. They both have sharp IGZO displays, which are relatively power-efficient displays that allow you to pack a lot of pixels into a small amount of space, which is why you can have either the Full HD or the WQHD. I think that's the right acronym for that. So again, these are Dell's two variants of the new XPS 13, starting at $799 and $1299. Anything I missed?